Hey everyone, welcome to Go Live, the Saturday evening talk show where we talk about gaming. We have an incredible show for you. We have two highly esteemed guests and game developers to talk all things gaming, including their own projects. It's going to be a great show. You know what it's about. If you're a regular here, smash that like button. We're going to jump into it. And you know that we give you a chance to... This is a lovely opportunity for you guys to ask your questions. Keep it civil in the chat, but... yeah, it's going to be a good show. And I will try my best to read all the super chats and all the chats to try and weave them in. So thank you so much for joining us. Before I introduce the lovely developers, let me introduce co-founder, co-host, the guy who always disagrees with me, Asa Walker. How are you?
When do I disagree with you? Only when you say really silly things. Most of the time we get along just great. Gaz, I am a scatterbrained mess, kind of like you've been for the last month, but I'm going to hold it together and it's going to be a great show. I'm glad to have Thomas back and pleased to welcome Mike for the first time. So I'll let you do their proper intros. Yes,
absolutely. Joining us for the first time is famed developer behind the Descenders and also now working on his new project, which we'll get into. Mike Rose, thank you so much for joining us, man. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you very much. Yes, it's Saturday night, so I'm drinking.
Drink away, man, drink away. But thank you so much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure. I've been following you for a while, and yeah, it's going to be really good to get your take on things. And returning to the show, the man with the lovely lock of hair and who left such a good impression. We had to have you back. The man behind the lovely Falconeer, who has been talked about very nicely by a lot of devs. We had Joe Winter, who's the guy behind Song of Iron, who loves your stuff, man. So yeah, we were talking in the green room, and he really likes you, man, and your stuff. But Tomas Sala, sorry, I don't know how I pronounce that, but thank you so much for joining us, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, you ready to swim in the sauce, as we say?
Swim in the sauce.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Mike and debating running downstairs and getting
I'm already on the sauce, mate.
You can go down. You can run down and get the sauce if you want. We'll hold it down. I just want you to be as comfortable as possible. It's going to be a good chat. It's going to be a great chat.
Fine for now.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you want to. Yeah, you're in Amsterdam. You can do all sorts of stuff. But you don't do anything. You're a wise man now. It's just more that I can say.
I am not saying any of that.
Well, we'll infer from that. But yeah, Thomas, last time we did the show, what we didn't manage to do, which is, well, I'll ask both of you now, is actually ask you what your... This is a gaming show, so we need to know, what is your favorite, putting you on the spot here, favorite franchise of all time and favorite game of all time? Yeah.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Oh, no.
No?
Yeah, sort of.
What is it? What is
I'm an Elder Scrolls man.
okay.
I can pull up Steam, see how many hours, but it's close to 2,000 hours, I think, in Skyrim. But I'm a huge fan of Morrowind, story-wise. It's just so batshit insane. That's. I think those are my poison. I haven't played the game that diligently since.
Okay, 2,000 hours is a long time, man.
Well, lots of modding, quite a lot of modding.
Okay, yeah. Asa's into that, into the whole VR stuff, aren't you? You still play that, Asa?
I am planning to do quite a lot more of that. So I did have Skyrim up and running, very much modified a while back, and I'm going to live stream that at some point. Yes.
Ah, okay, that's good. Skyrim's beast that never stops giving, man. Can't wait to see what that studio does in the future. Mike, Put you on the spot. What's your favorite franchise or favorite game of all time?
Do you know? I think I actually realized the answer to this earlier today, and it's fucking weird. I think I realized today while I was dressing myself that I am super fucking into Sonic the Hedgehog. I hadn't realized before today, right? And to clarify as well, I think most of the Sonic the Hedgehog games are hot garbage. Like, I don't think there's been a good Sonic the Hedgehog game in so long, right? But if you ask me the question, what is like my favorite ever video game franchise? Sonic the Hedgehog is fucking cool. Like when I was a kid, I had everything. My whole fucking bedroom, bed covers,
Same,
my bag, my backpack, everything. Right? It was Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. When the trailers for the new movie came out, I was like on the verge of fucking crying. Like I was like, holy shit, look at this. like if they ever announce a new Sonic game, I don't give a shit. Like I'm like, right. Another shit Sonic game I'm never gonna play.
Yeah.
They're all horrible, aren't they? But as a franchise, I just really I think Sonic's a great character. I think he's
Sonic's
just a fucking great character. Sonic is a better character than Mario.
I was just about to say
100%. 100%.
Mario's just a plumber, man.
He is. He's just this little crappy short plumber. Sonic, his design is mental. He's fucking blue, and he's got like these giant spikes, and he's crazy. He's got fast shoes. He eats chili dogs. What is this not like? He goes around fucking loops. You know what I mean? He's got a mate that has two tails. He's got another mate who is red and punches shit. Like every single one of Sonic's friends is batshit. It's great. Sonic is amazing.
See, I had a magazine like from the early 90s where there was this like old magazine. If I could find it, I'd pay a premium for this. But it was a scene of Mario versus Sonic. This is back in the Nintendo versus Sonic Sega days, and they're doing an arm wrestle. And I was like, and I remember watching this. I'm like, Sonic is going to win this.
I used to, as a kid, I used to draw pictures of Sonic beating the shit out of Mario. That's what I used to drink because I was a Sega fanboy when I was a kid.
Yes,
and he during the Dreamcast days, I was like, no, Sega's still the best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like whenever I see all the fanboy stuff now, or like the PS5 versus Xbox, I'm always like, it's so lame. But I remember being like that when I was a kid. I remember like wanting to draw Sega characters beating the shit out of Nintendo characters. So I get it. You know?
I didn't go that far, but I did draw Sonic, just not beating the shit out of Mario. But... Oh, that's good. That's the best answer we've had to the favorite franchise of all time on the show. Oh man. So what? Because another question we ask, and I think we asked Thomas this last time, but what actually motivated you into becoming a game dev, into content creation?
Me? Well, so I actually went to uni. I'll do the short version of this. I went to uni trying to be a game dev. I did like computer science at uni. About 2 years into it, I realized I was shit and I just could not do it. It was partially that I was garbage and partially that I just hated it. And so then while I was at uni, I started writing about games, like trying to become a journalist. You know, if you can't do it yourself, tear other people down. So I started doing that. And while I was doing that, like, I don't know, people seemed to care about the things I was saying. And I gradually just kind of built up and up. And eventually it ended up with me joining a bunch of different video game studios. I was at Tiny Build for a while, and there was a British place called Ripstone. And then I just started my own publisher. And that's kind of, I mean, I've cut out many years there, but yeah, that's roughly the path that I've taken, really.
That's an interesting part, though. You know, a lot of people they find uni really crap, and then they find their passion. But then you went through the journalism route, and then go into
Well, the problem was, I don't know how it is now, but back when I did like video game development at uni, it didn't exist. Like it was like old white men trying to teach me how to like old white men in crazy shirts, like rolling in and being like, "Let's teach you Java." Like they were crazy. So it was really bad. It was terrible the way that they taught this shit in the UK. So there's when I look back, it's obvious. Like when I look back, I'm like, of course I didn't enjoy it. It was crap. Apparently, it's better nowadays the way they teach it, but I just don't think. However many years ago how long ago was I at uni? Oh God, it was like 15 years. I think because back then they just hadn't worked out how to teach video game development yet. So
if it was like 15 years ago, it was the way it kind of is now, I would have probably got into it. But yeah, you're right. It was just like a lot of people like Peter Molyneux at that time were like, don't go get a degree if you want to get into gaming.
Yeah, it was a hard thing because people were saying like, "Oh, don't get a degree. There'll be no point." But then all the job listings said, "You must have a degree."
Yeah, it's true.
Piss off then. Which is it? So,
I know exactly. That was a problem.
Yeah.
That was a problem. Thomas, I see you can run down and get a bit of sauce. Nice one. Matt Toboggan, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, "What's this Super Mario slander I'm hearing? Blasphemous." Sorry, man, but
it's not slander though, is it? It's just that Sonic is better.
Come on, man. How is Mario cool, man? He just doesn't look cool. So Sonic is blue. And
it's just the character. Sonic is a better character than Mario. Mario has better games.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it is.
The more important thing is the games, but that's the battle that plays.
Imagine if Mario took his overalls off. He'd look like a twat. Do you know what I mean? But Sonic is just naked.
Yeah.
So, and look how great he looks. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Sonic put the overalls on, he might look like a twat as well. This is all I'm trying to say. Maybe it's just the way that Mario is dressed.
I never thought of Sonic being naked, but that's
well, he is naked. So, he's got shoes on, I guess. I don't know if that counts as being naked.
Thomas, do you echo his Mike's sentiments about Sonic being cooler than Mario?
Well, I remember back in those days we had because I'm a PC boy for life, so but we had for a brief period somewhere in the 80s a second-hand 8-bit SNES, regular NES. With the gold cartridge Zelda. So, and it had Mario. I don't know which one, but just the Mario with the flag and jumping on the flag and all that stuff. And then the kids at school had a 16-bit Sony Sega 16-bit Mega Drive. Is it a Mega Drive?
Yeah, Mega Drive.
It looked so good. And they had what's that game with the Wolfman? Altered something.
Altered Beast.
Altered Beast and all that stuff.
Oh,
which
my God.
So I never had consoles after that. So I had to do with Amiga stuff. So the entire Nintendo Sonic things, both cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I do get Sonic is more original, sort of.
Yeah.
So I am agnostic. I'm not a. I know people are gonna laugh, but I am not a console man.
I'm going to say if Mantis Toboggan is right, we might all be glad that Mario keeps those overalls on. Go on, guys, have a read.
Oh my God! What?
Mantis Toboggan. I'm pretty sure there's a Tarantino dialogue on Italian Plumbers somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. That's the rule of the internet. And Mantis Toboggan, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says Mario is hung like a walrus under those overalls. Thanks for making me read that.
No, I don't think that's true. I think Luigi is, but I don't think Mario is. Like Luigi, his height, you can tell.
Yeah.
You know, tall and all that. You know.
Oh man, thanks for that, Mantis. Sometimes you don't want to read the super chats, but yeah, that was good. But Tomas, you've been a busy bee. Well, congratulations on the Falconeer. And when we talked, it was doing really well. What's happening with you? Because you're still busy. What are you doing now? Are you retired? You're making money and just living the life? Or
no. I wish. I'm actually going online. Where do I buy an affordable GPU? My computer's breaking down. Asking Twitter, what the fuck? Do I wait? Do I buy a PC now? Do I go smack some crypto miners? I don't know. It's done good. Well, yeah, it's done pretty good. But that means can always do better, and success is super relative. It's not done super on PC, so being a PC man, that I can't handle that, so I keep putting out updates and shit and improving it.
Okay.
There's some new content coming that's already been announced. Some other things I can't talk about. But new content is coming, being announced, new DLC. It's got a new bit of story, and I'm pimping up all the tutorials because everybody hates the fact that there's no tutorials, stuff like that. Just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. I'm sort of having fun, and it's a cycle. So nowadays you release a game, and then actually the crunch the thing just starts, because then you gotta listen to gamers, people, and that's a job. It takes all day long listening to gamers.
Yeah,
Every day.
because as that's the indie dev struggle as well. It's not like something you can palm off to someone else. This is all you guys doing this on your own.
Wired, who's publishing is, have an entire marketing staff, but the fact is that if you put my face on something and said he made it, they want to go talk to me.
Absolutely. Well,
A good chunk of the user reviews and comments actually, and Thomas and his fucking narrative bullshit, this and that. Okay, I'll answer that one.
I think because I remember last time we talked about you, and one thing that stuck with me since we talked was this sentiment, which is I completely understand. It's completely true. Is that you get showered with praise, and the praise you get it's nice, but it washes off really quickly. But it's that negative comment that sticks with you. When I think as an outsider looking in and talking to content creators and gamers, and we've got all sorts of devs and everyone on here, like Joe Winter of Song of Iron loves your stuff, man, and it's just
I love his stuff. I've just seen it. Chop, burning villages. It's awesome.
I got the closed beta. It's activating soon. So I can't wait to play that. But people look at Falconeer like positively, like that's amazing, and so like don't let the shit stick with you. Well, it's gonna do it anyways.
It's BAFTA nominated garbage now. So
it's not, man. It's just beautiful.
And the more time there is between, that periods of launch where things went wrong and you're just running behind shit, trying to get everything else, because this is your one shot. Yeah. That's how it feels like. It's your one fucking shot to get there. So you're running and then the further time goes on, you get a little bit more perspective. Yeah. But still, a negative review. Even now, I still go, this kid on YouTube with 4 views, he fucking hates it. Shall I comment or not? And I can't help myself.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm always nice, mostly.
You are. What about you, Mike? How do you handle the critique when it comes to
Well, I am very strange in this regard, okay? Because I used to not be able to, like every other human in the whole world, I used to not be able to at all. And it used to be that exact thing, someone would say a negative thing in a whole, patch of good things, and it's the negative thing that I looked at. And then, I don't know when it was, but at some point, I started to enjoy the negative comments. It's genuinely hard to explain, but I kind of thrive on them a little bit at this point. And in a way, I hunt them out. Like I actually seek them out now. There's certain things that trigger me. There's certain topics where one thing that always triggers me is if someone, there's a game I'm publishing and someone goes like lazy devs, didn't even do this or whatever. And I'm like, fuck you. If you knew how hard they were working, you would not be fucking saying that. That kind of shit pisses me off. But when it's just like some shit about one of our games or just a very specific thing, especially if someone says something about me specifically. Like I say a lot of shit all over the place. I talk on Twitter and all this kind of stuff. And people will be like, "Oh, Mike fucking Rose! I'm not buying any of their games if Mike Rose is involved and everything." And I'm like, yes, what? Yes, wash over me. I'll eat your tip. I genuinely love it so much. When I see someone on like a forum like Resetera or somewhere like that being like, "Oh, Mike Rose is involved," I'd be like, "Well, please don't fucking buy it then, because I would not want you to buy it in the first place if that's your reaction." I am such a weirdo in this regard. It's useful in a publisher, maybe. Someone who can kind of be this meat shield against the Steam forums.
The meat shield
for you. The Steam forum meat shield. I'm like diving in front of the bullet. But like people are like shooting these horrible things at our devs, and I'm like, no, let me eat them. Like it's I really enjoy it. I enjoy. Please say all your negativity to me. I will. I'll put it in a beer and I'll have a drink.
And then he'll draw Sonic beating you up.
And then I will draw Sonic beating the shit out of you in a variety of poses.
Oh man! But you've got. So congratulations on announcing your latest game. Like Descenders was a massive success. I think we would be remiss to say otherwise. So congratulations on that. But
thank you. Yeah, it's it's been a journey for us. We've had, I think we have 6 games released at this point, and yeah, we've got into the swing of it now. And this year we've got 4 games coming out. Next year we've got 4 games coming out. And we're announcing another game. When are we announcing that? 2 weeks? We're announcing another game. We're going to announce. I'll do it right now. No, we got another game coming out that we're announcing in 2 weeks. Yeah, we announced Let's Build a Zoo a few weeks ago. This zoo management game where you splice animals together, stick the head of a zebra on the body of a giraffe, and so on and so forth. But it's extremely fun. I get to a really nice thing about being in a position where you make a bunch of bold claims. I'm going to do this, and then you shit yourself trying to do them, and then you actually manage to do them.
Yeah,
is that then at the end of it, you get to go, "Hey, look, I did it."
Yeah,
and you get to be a bit of a dick about that. So that's the period that I'm in right now. Basically, I told you so period.
Yeah, that's a great period to be in. All the apprehension beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, the thing is, one of the things about being like very like loud on the internet is that you hold a lot. Of course, you've got lots of. Everybody has worry and everybody has negativity and everything, and it's the trying to like hold all of that back. You only ever see a lot of the time a positive side from people on the internet, right? You never see the difficult bits. There are in every single person involved in video games, there are many, many difficult bits.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to get to the bit where it's less difficult.
That's good, yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, you struggled there, and you strive, and you overcome that adversity. Why not enjoy? That's the bit that you start to enjoy. So you're in that good phase now.
And bash some trolls along the way.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm seeing some people in the chat are for some reason the topic that's been dominating the chat console wars and Xbox Game Pass, which is quite interesting because both of you gentlemen have had the pleasure of having your games on Game Pass. Thomas, we've had developers on here. We've had David Springway, the technical director of Codemasters, who was really happy with what Game Pass did for Dirt 5. And he loved the service because it's increased their player numbers and all that. What's your take on Game Pass? How has it helped the Falconeer?
Well, it is 90%, 99% of its audience is Game Pass at the point.
Damn.
Well, Game Pass is huge and it's done well on Game Pass. So it's like I'm not allowed to say the numbers yet, or you're not never allowed. But it's a lot. It's like, wow, that's a lot. You can never sell that many. Well, a solo developed games would never sell those numbers ever.
Yeah.
So it's logical because it doesn't cost. It's just I have Game Pass because I got it along the way, and it's well, what shall I play now? Oh, look what pops up. Oh, I'll play that. And so lots of people try out stuff. So the positive is you'll get lots of players. So you get lots of fans and people loving the game. And besides all the bullshit with money and stuff, that's the only thing that really makes you happy is when it's it's epic, and people feedback to you, and I love that. So that's fantastic because it's just a fan base. And Microsoft are gracious with their all the stuff on the back. So no complaints there, 0. It's a great platform to be on. But the only thing you have to get used to is like on Netflix. Oh, let me try that. Oh no, that's not for me. Okay, and then because it's the internet, people go garbage. So that's it's a decent sized city of people playing it, just trying it out, and something like the Falconeer, which is I get emails from other game devs going, "I played your game. What the fuck? It's like a World War I slow airplane combat game." And that then happens with hundreds of thousands of users. Go, what the fuck is this? This isn't a shooter. So you have to deal with that as well. And there were some more, shenanigans with people. So in that sense, you got a lot of people, you got a lot of trolls. So and you deal with it. So I like it. The turnaround time for doing updates and patches is fairly steep, fairly nippy at the moment. So it's a nice platform to be on, and it just runs,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really good and very interesting to hear how big a boost that is. Not surprising, but still, the numbers, the percentage-wise, was quite surprising. Mike, what was that? I remember once there was a troll on. Sorry. There was a troll on Twitter who's trying to downplay what Descenders and Game Pass did.
Which one? Which one? So many of them. So many of them. Always.
You called him out.
Always trying to downplay this shit, aren't
something
they?
Sheep Game or something like, I don't know what his name was. Something weird. And you called him out, and you were like, "Oh no, hold on, you're misquoting what I've said here." Here's Woolly Gamer or something. I don't know. I got the name wrong. But yeah. So, but you were talking about Game Pass and Descenders. Let's set the record. How has Game Pass been for you?
Game Pass. So we have 4 titles on Game Pass, and they have all been affected by Game Pass in different ways. Descenders is the one most people talk to me about. A big reason why people do is because Descenders hasn't just been big for us. It's one of the biggest Game Pass games. It's like consistently in the top 10 most downloaded Game Pass games every day. Which obviously is useful for me and useful for my team and for Rage Squid, the devs. Descenders, before we launched on Game Pass, we were so happy with Descenders. Like, it had got to so many people. We'd sold, I don't know how many, we'd sold like 6-figure units. I can't remember how many it was, but we were happy, because as well, it had been the first No More Robots game, and I'd been doing it with the developers Rage Squid. We'd gone on this journey together, and we were all like best buds at this point. And then the game came out on Game Pass, and within a week, we were just like, what the actual fuck? Like, it's the numbers. There's this map. When you start a game of Descenders, everyone's playing on the same map, and you can see the numbers all over the map of which like levels people are in. And when you played it before Game Pass, there was like little dotted like 9 people in there, 8 people in there, 10 people in there, all this kind of stuff. And like the day we launched on Game Pass, one of us booted up on Xbox and went into this level, and there was like hundreds of people in every single little thing. We were like, what the shit? Like, it was insane. But the thing was that it was a big unknown for us because we're launching on this thing. It's free. People, if they've got Game Pass, they get the game for free. They're not going to buy it. This is it. We've done a deal. We've got to understand now that no one's going to buy the game after this point. And the sales graph just went like this and just disappeared.
The sales graph as well, not just Game Pass.
Yeah. This is like people actually buying the game. Now, I will say at this point that I don't think that's completely normal for every Game Pass game. I think if games are single player, if they're short, if they're narrative, stuff like that, which we've had games like that on Game Pass, you see more normal sales. I've personally never seen sales go down. I've only ever seen sales either stay the same or go up. But for Descenders, because it was a multiplayer thing, the thing you got to understand about Game Pass is there's like nearly 25 million people who have Game Pass or something like that.
Yeah, something 20.
Okay, this is not meant as a slur on Game Pass, but that's nothing. Like, compared to the number of people playing games, that is nothing, okay?
Yeah.
There's still hundreds of millions of more people who are playing games. So when one person plays the game on Game Pass, there is a chance then that they will try to get their friends to play Descenders with them.
Yeah.
And none of their friends have Game Pass.
Okay.
And so they're all buying it so that they can play it with their friend. And maybe one or two of them will then pick up Game Pass as well. You know, and I am fairly confident a decent number of people have got Game Pass because of Descenders. So it's kind of, you know, us and Microsoft, we're scratching each other's backs a little bit here. But at the end of the day, yeah, like it's still, Game Pass is still at the point where so many people haven't got it and also don't trust it. There's a lot of people, not Game Pass explicitly, but people still don't trust subscriptions. You know, they still don't.
Why is that? Why is that?
Do you not remember like when Spotify started? Or when Netflix started? When Spotify started, I was like, am I paying money every month for music? That's bullshit. And I got like, I got Spotify free. Yeah. And I was like, and it would do the adverts and it would piss me off. And eventually, after a few years, I was like, all right, fine. Go on then. I'll pay for Spotify. And now when I look back, I'm like, why the fuck did I have a problem with paying for Spotify? I'm like, it's such a small amount of money for all of the music in the world. Why did I have a problem? That's the bit we're in with not just Game Pass, but with video game subscriptions right now. There are so many people who don't understand it and don't trust it. And so they'll still buy our games. They'll still buy Descenders because they're like, if I buy it, I own it. That's the thing. People are still in the phase with games and must own it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We had with the Falconeer, it doesn't have that multiplayer effect. And the number I made up is just a bullshit number tonight. But because my publisher's going to scream in my ear. Yeah, we saw that on that. But I don't.
You didn't give
I don't look at the sales number. It's Game Pass is huge. It's basically the Falconeer is an Xbox title. It was a launch title. But you do get, and it is a single player narrative game, so it's perfect for Game Pass just to throw away a couple of hours, try it out, or get stuck into it. Well, I find a lot of people that just go out and buy it to support me, and they'll tweet about it. I bought it to support you. There's people out there that bought it on, tried it on Game Pass, then bought it on Xbox, and then bought it on PC. It's like, so I think there's when people, because we have, maybe it's something of the culture nowadays, and I think indies did bring that in, that sort of cult of personality a little bit, where people want to support, cult of teams or whatever, where want to support devs they like, and a lot of gamers have become quite, how do you call it, educated, advanced, and understand it's not really, a money-making industry except for a very few lucky people. So you might have a hit game, but won't be driving around in Cybertrucks yet. Then buying an extra copy actually helps, and people get that. And I think that's wonderful because it's
that's nice, man.
It makes it it makes it much more one-on-one. That is someone did something instead of it's just a number.
But I mean, that's lovely that people go out their way to support you. That good people exist. That they would go out the way to buy on PC and Steam, and we did the same. But it's like, why wouldn't you? Like, and gamers are more conscientious. But then there's another crowd, and both of you guys touched upon the fact that Microsoft quite generous, and we often ask you what the numbers were in the background to secure these deals. But they seem, am I correct in assuming they were fair? Or was good deal in the background? Yes, you guys all say yes. I think you're saying yes. You guys are saying yes.
Well, the dollar shit though.
The dollar shit.
Yeah, the dollar's fucking me over right now. Yeah.
Dollars to euros, like they throw out a number and then there's like a fifth. Gold by the time you get
Agreed.
There.
Agreed. I'm in the UK where we're just burning the country down right now, and even I'm pissed off at the dollars. So
The time to get Bitcoin. I don't know how that's going. See what I read. Speaking of dollars, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. It's appreciated. In the amount you can't handle the exchange rate. GameOnDaily all day. We will try. I'm sorry. This is going to be one where you will have to cover your ears. But I wanted to speak to you about this because, like, Mike, you mentioned this kind of distrust with services. There's this movement called Forever Physical. Started off by company. I always forget their name. Something Run Games, and
Limited Run.
Limited Run Games. That's it. But that movement seems
There they
seems
are.
to-
There they are.
yeah, Limited Run Games, which is a great movement. But what I've seen, because I did a video making fun of people who have hijacked that movement, particularly some fanboys who are weaponizing it to use that against Game Pass. And that's one thing that they're saying, they're taking away our physical games. Is there a real concern with Game Pass and subscription services actually doing that? And is that a problem if it does do that?
The funniest thing, of course, about it all is that actually, of all the platforms, Microsoft are the ones who, if anything, are doing the best job. Not an amazing job, but they're doing the best job of actually sort of keeping all of the back catalog kind of safe and sound. You know, that on other platforms, it's like, there's whole platform, there's whole stores we're going to take down, and all of those games will be gone, and you'll never be able to access them again. And Microsoft are the ones who are actually doing a pretty decent job. I can boot my Series X up right now and play any of my Xbox 360 games on it. Which is mental. That's when you think about the technology involved in that. That is batshit that you can do that.
They went above and beyond there. They didn't need to do that, but they did.
No, it's one of those things where it's not going to sell a console doing that kind of thing. But when you realize that, like when I'm going through my game library and I'm seeing games that I bought digitally 13 years ago, that's amazing. That's like the technology behind that. They are not given enough credit for that, I would say.
Absolutely.
And you know, those tiny crowds, you know, fuck them, because they misunderstand everything about what's going on. And to say that even to the point, because I am devil's advocate, they don't even correctly analyze what could go wrong with Game Pass and subscription if it becomes the dominant form. You know, the types of games it will promote and gender, you know, how the financial model will possibly change the gameplay, because, you know, what will be, you know, what's going to be the trend, you know, it's going to be all free to play. You're going to see on Apple, you're seeing a lot more big free to play games on arcade. So there's definitely trends for which a gamer could go, fuck, I don't want that. But not having, but the box, there'll be boxes for everything. Because why? Because I fucking love this.
You're so right. You're so right. Like there's actually so many genuine things that people could get pissed off at Game Pass for that they don't. Like I could list off multiple things that actually are worrying about subscription services in general, and I have before done this. But gamers focus on such weird, banal shit that doesn't matter. Like I could give you a real list of things to fucking like fanboy over. The shit you fanboy over is not real. You know what? You can take your fucking teraflops, mate. It does, like none of this shit matters. It really doesn't. Holy shit, it doesn't matter.
And it's you know, the entire console wars. It's you know, you'll have beers with Microsoft and PlayStation people having a beer, having a good, you know, laugh about it, because it's nobody on the other side of games is interested, involved, or obsessed with, you know, competing on any other level. You know, we're all doing our business. It's not for fuck's sake. If you go to my the Falconeer fucking what's it called, Metacritic, it's, you know, the biggest fucking ganked, because it wasn't title exclusive and all that bullshit, and it's like zeros and tens, you know, because it's, but you know, the it's the, what's the other word, the botters, they all want it. No, it's great. No, it sucks. No, it's great. No, it sucks. It's like, how is this useful? You know, it's just I've debated going online. Dude, my previous game was a PlayStation first party published exclusive. You know, it wasn't very good, but it was there. It's like, I don't care. You know, it's whoever wants to hug me the most. You know, that
exactly.
Well, not hugs, because I'm not. But you know.
If you give me money, then I will love you. That's it.
Yeah,
If you,
I mean?
no, not even. But if you appreciate me, because I am an insecure artist, I will fucking love you, and you can have my game. And especially if you're the only one available for a meeting, you're in luck. You got the deal. It's that simple. It's not. There's no. The people go so mental about it, and and sometimes it can get real. How do you call it? Negative and spiteful. You go, why?
Yeah.
It's you're playing games, and then even now with the the Bethesda debate, being a huge Bethesda boy. I go, yeah, okay, now it's an Xbox and PC exclusive. Who played it on PlayStation people, but it is a PC game. So and I'm not doing the master race thing, but it's someone's got to pay for that, for your single player, not hugely financial incentivized type of mega production, that cost $500 million. That isn't, why do you think Bethesda was starting to put free to play and everything? Because that's where the fucking money is. And now you're gonna get single player fucking experience. Be glad. Be fucking happy. That's gonna happen. Otherwise, it would be, because that's where the market's going.
Exactly, and I think this spells good news, the Bethesda acquisition, because so many studios that have been acquired by Microsoft have said that it gives them that freedom, creative freedom, because the pressure, like Double Fine, for instance, Tim Schafer, these guys, they're saying we don't have to worry about this. It doesn't stifle our creativity. Well, one thing I want to touch upon, because to be fair, Mike, you mentioned you could list a few things that subscription services can potentially cause issues in the future. Can you just list like a couple you think they may be the case?
Well, on a very simple level, we've already seen it with other subscription services in other industries, like Spotify, like Netflix. It all becomes another walled garden, right? And by walled garden, I mean where, for example, Steam used to be a walled garden. It used to be that to get on Steam, you needed to know someone at Steam, and it was difficult to get on there. You sold shitloads because barely anyone was on there. And then they opened the floodgates, and that was arguably good, because it meant anyone could publish on there now. But lots of people had a problem with it, because all of a sudden they couldn't sell shitloads anymore because it wasn't exclusive to be on there anymore, right?
Yeah.
This can only be the way that this stuff goes, okay? So currently there are X number of titles on Game Pass or whatever. And not just Game Pass, we're talking about every subscription. We're talking about Stadia, we're talking about Amazon Luna, all of these different subscription services, right? Mm-hmm. At some point, they're going to hit a limit. They're going to hit a limit where they've got so many fucking games on there, and it's going to be amazing for it's never going to be bad for gamers. Here's the thing: it's never going to be bad for the people playing games, because they're just going to have so many goddamn games.
Yeah. As
someone who sells games, there is the potential that in years' time, when there are so many games on these platforms, you might not just be able to get on these platforms because there won't be enough spaces, and B, the money to you, the reason for you to go on it in the first place, potentially has gone down, because
popularity.
Yeah, exactly. Like if there's already 200, 300 AAA games on a subscription service, why do they want you? And you're a new indie developer. Why do they want your game? Like, why would they give you real money? Okay. Now, I say all of this. This is definitely not a thing. It's not a thing that's definitely going to happen. What I'm saying is, it's a possible concern that's an actual concern, as compared to some of the concerns that some people seem to piss out of thin air. Like if you want actual real concerns for the industry, that's one of them.
But that ties in with the entire. That is, it's the danger that the perception of games, because there is such a huge amount of fucking games, that they're worthless. I get those comments all the time. Well, I only buy games that are $1 per hour playtime. So if something's $40, they should provide me 40. Literally.
I fucking hate that so much. I hate that so much.
But you know what I do? I give them a free Steam key so that their review doesn't count.
That's a good tactic.
I just tell people, please refund my game. Please refund it, and then never download another one of our fucking games.
But you know, the perception is so wide, and as an industry, because I think the danger we're in right now is that it's becoming very competitive between all the platforms. I think Steam is feeling Game Pass, Sony's feeling Game Pass, but Microsoft feeling, everybody's coming out with the big guns. So there's lots of big money flying around. You know, PlayStation is going all in on first-party exclusives, which is like a trampling elephant as well. So, and in the midst of that, there is sales, and sales. So lots of consumers only buy games on sales. You know, I will. You know, I have a wish list. I'll buy it when it's $10. I know how that feels. You know, and for some people that means if you're 16-year-old, I'll buy it when it's $5. You're gonna buy it eventually because it's gonna hit those $5. And for $5 now I can go on Steam and play games that were $70 3 years ago. That are fantastic fucking experiences. And that is great for gamers. But if you add in Game Pass, where the perception of value for your game just evaporates, because I watch Netflix series and I go, I finished Netflix last week. Have you got anything else? Oh yeah, there's this Amazon thing. And it becomes so. There's this devalue. There is a race to the bottom where everybody's getting aggressive because everybody's getting a smaller piece of pie of the cake. So we're all getting more aggressive and price. And in the end, that doesn't really matter for Steam or PlayStation, or because they're in it for the bulk. But everybody's who's at the at the bottom, like me, you're gonna feel that, and you're gonna feel it hard because the value of your price is only it's a solo developed indie game with 15 hours playtime, $5. And otherwise I'm not gonna fucking buy it. And you can literally start out the sales volumes on Steam. Someone says, "Are you aiming to be the next Box?" I fucking love Bob Ross.
Tony,
I am the Bob
you
Ross.
Could be. You could be.
There is entire Gamescom call talks where I go, "I am the Bob." I sketch nothing. I just everything is fucking dirty. I love Bob Ross. He's my fucking hero.
Dan Lazaro, thank you so much for the $2 super check. Is loving the guests' honesty, buying all y'all games. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Yeah, the guests are always.
Well, if you buy all of my games, that'll be very expensive for you. So that's over $100. So
you can buy my one game. It's best if you bought it from a key reseller.
As long as you buy our games from G2A, that's the best place to buy.
Well, not G2A. Every other key seller, I am fine and get it as cheap as fucking possible, but don't buy it on Steam. Thank you very much.
Whoa, no, let's not move on from that. Tell us about the problem with Steam.
Yeah, go on. Go on, Esther.
I just want to know about this. Why not Steam? What's the bad about Steam?
What's the matter with Steam? Steam. Yeah. Secretly, if you start bashing Steam, you will never sell a game again, ever. So I'm not starting that one.
All right, we'll move from there because your future is on the line. But the talk of price of games. Now, we've had guests on here, and I think the vast majority of people, I think even Joe Winter also echoed this. He's not a fan of this £70 for a game, and more in some like in Poland, for instance, that translates quite a lot. Say 95 euros or whatever. I think it's euros. Yeah. Mike, I came across one of your tweets where you said, "Wait, 70 quid. That's taking the mick for a game." I think it was Returnal. I was like, you had an issue with that price. Am I correct? Or
how expensive is Returnal?
It's £70.
£70. I paid £70 for it.
Good for them. Good.
Yeah.
Look. Right. Look. Okay. So Here's the thing. I am a huge advocate for paying the right amount for video games. Okay.
Okay.
I see games launch on Steam for like $10. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you putting your game on Steam for $10? Are you an idiot? You're going to make like, on $10, you're going to make like $4 a copy or something like that. You're going to make no money. It's like, what are you doing? You spent the last 2 years making this game. And you put it on the... So don't get me wrong. All of our games so far have been at least $20. We've got a couple that are $25, you know, and we do arguably stuff that people will class as indie. I fucking hate that word, but arguably that's how it would be classed as. So I think fair enough. I think that kind of price point is correct. You cannot charge £70 for a video game, for fuck's sake. You just cannot. That is so... Okay. So the thing is that the £70 price point, right, is just such a fucking privileged price point. What you are saying there is that only people with money are allowed to play games when they launch. Jeez. Which is bullshit. Video games are meant to be for fucking everyone. It's meant to be that, like, kids should be able to play these games. Yeah, like, man. Anybody should be able to play these games. What fucking kid has got £70? Like, and people are then like, well, just wait until it's on sale then. That's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. It shouldn't be that you start with a gigantic price and then you tank it really quick. Like, that's not what because then all you're saying is, well, fuck people who buy it on launch. You know what I mean? You're going, oh, well, those absolute twats, they'll pay £70. So let's get £70 out of all of those knobheads on launch day. And a month later, then we'll start doing the real price.
Yeah, so you're a mug.
It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Because
I'm so glad you said that.
And I should clarify in all of this, I am not actually talking shit about Returnal at all. I'm talking shit about the price point in general. I've seen so many games which are trying to be this price point. If you are putting $70 on, you are just straight up saying that you do not respect people who are buying your games. You're saying that you know you can rinse people on launch day who are too stupid to not pay that price, who are going to just pay that price because, oh my God, they have to have everything on launch day. And then a month later, you're going to try and get 40 quid out of everybody else. Yeah, it's fucking rude. Yeah,
it is gross. Because
I'm gross.
I'm a day one support of Returnal. I felt really like I can't talk because I spend ridiculous amounts on like loot boxes on Apex Legends, but paying £70 for Returnal was like, oh, I don't even know if I like the game. Well, I like the game.
But that's £70 digital, right?
Digital, yeah.
Digital, mate. What the fuck?
I can understand. Yeah, but the thing is, you know, this costs money. You know, the fucking plastic, shipping it, that costs. Yeah. But if it's just the 70 digital, it's still good for them. I wish I was them.
Yeah, I want to be them. I mean, the flip side of this is good for fucking Housemarque. They will have made so much dollar right now. Do you know what I mean? But also, piss off.
Yeah. This price point,
this price point needs to die.
I could lease a car like regular people.
Oh, wow. How much does a Nintendo Switch Lite cost? I can literally find a Nintendo Switch Lite for like 150 quid or something like that on eBay if I look hard. That's two full price games apparently for an entire console.
That's
piss off.
I do remember those the day because when I was at games in the Netherlands where I think at the top there were 120 guilders, which is that's €70. And that was a lot of fucking money in 1995. But
it made sense back then, right? Well, no,
it didn't make sense because we went out and we saw illegal CDs,
you know, fucking illegal CDs.
We cracked the fuck out of that shit. We just simply never bought it because it was 70 fucking bucks.
At least back then, they didn't know what they were fucking doing. You know, they were putting them on cartridges. the fuck were they doing there? Like, it was just these gigantic cartridges, and they were shipping them out. They like, nowadays, I'm sorry, but like, I keep hearing this argument like, oh, but games cost more money to make now. Fuck off. No, they don't. As someone who is involved, I'm not involved in AAA. Fair enough. I'm not involved in AAA development. But games do not cost more now to make than they used to. And if they do, it's because you're being a dickhead and you're putting like so much fucking money. Like all of these, like, oh, we have to charge $70 because we are simulating the swing of the horse's ball. Like, no, like, come on. Do you know what? Do you know what? I will not have ball testicle swing if you charge less than £70. How about that? How about that? Take the ball swing out, and I'll pay less. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's a rogue. It's procedurally generated, right?
Yeah, it's a roguelike. Well,
which way will they swing?
I love the game. I love the game, but I cannot say it's worth £70. I just can't. I can't say that.
That's because no game is.
And
No
you know,
game
Mike,
is.
it doesn't operate in a vacuum. We keep saying it. Microsoft, big bad Microsoft, isn't charging you £70. Sony's leading the charge and setting horrible precedent, possibly.
Well, I could be wrong here. I think there are some Series X games which are £70 where they're like third-party ones. I can't name one off the top of my head right now, but I feel like one has come out or something. There's gotta be.
That's Sony's game.
Fine. But still, I think you are going to see $70 and £70 Series X games. I think you will. So this is not exclusively a PlayStation problem. This is a triple A industry problem.
Do we really think there will be more expensive games instead of cheaper games? You think people will try to buck the entire grindy free-to-play shit? I go, yeah, let's go $70. That's what kids will want.
I don't know.
Apparently they are. Apparently you're right because
because the thing is, though, we're in the period right now where next gen has come out, and people who have bought their next gen consoles have to justify that they've bought them. And I'm talking about myself as well here because I have next gen consoles. I'm like, it's why, like with Returnal, I was like, I must play this game. I need a game. I need a reason to actually own a PS5. Like you have to when a console has just come out, you have to buy new games. I remember like when I bought a Nintendo Wii and I bought like Call of Duty 3 with it. What a piece of shit that was. And I spent like 50 quid on it because I had to buy a new game. Like when new consoles are out, you have to buy new games for them. And that's the period we're in right now. Give it another 12 months and we'll see what starts to happen there when people can't justify 70 quid anymore. Yeah,
and this is in a world where something like Game Pass exists. I just don't know.
Yeah, well, obviously, the comparison there, you're like, it's this hilarious thing you're watching online right now where, with the show, for example, where people are like, get it for free on this $15 subscription service. Pay $70 for it. And as well, like, no one is paying $15 a month for Game Pass, are they? Everyone's got some little shitty codes off the back or something. Like, so everyone's getting Game Pass for like $1 for the first month and then like $5 for 6 months or something. So people are like, a year of Game Pass or just the show? Like, which do you go for?
Oh man,
it's difficult.
I tend to give Sony a hard time here, but you have to. I mean, these are things you kind of have to nip in the bud. And you're right. Once the honeymoon period of next gen consoles does wear out, you're going to have to when the more games come out. And 70 quid is a lot of money, man. Like we 2-3 big games coming out, that's a lot of money. I just doesn't feel right. But I also want to talk about another topic that's been quite divisive. Me and Ace have been at loggerheads on this issue, but we need your insight on this as developers. So it came out about this epic lawsuit with Apple that Sony charge developers for crossplay. If you hit a certain and there's and Asa, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you hit a certain revenue point, then you have to disclose it to Sony, and then you have to pay them. And you have a monthly contractual covenant with Sony to disclose your financials and then pay them. That is only Sony doing it. I think I'm a big proponent of crossplay. I was last generation. I was pissing me off that because of console warring, people were defending it because crossplay made a massive difference to the manner in which I play my games. I have mates on all sorts of platforms, and I want to play with them, and it's been a game changer for me to play games with my other friends. But because of fanboying and console warring, they're like, no one cares about it. But Sony have been putting a stop on it, and I wanted to know from you, Mike, do you know? Well, it's confirmed as that's Sony's policy, but can you just offer your view on it? What's actually, if there's more nuance to that, and also what's your view on that point on crossplay?
Here's my view on it. Fair fucking play to them. Look,
Yeah,
the PS4 smashed the Xbox One. Let's not sugarcoat this. The
100%.
PS4 was
Destroyed.
insane. I loved my PS4. It was massive, okay? And then people are coming along and saying, oh, well, you should make it so you can play with this other console, which isn't as big as yours. Of course, Sony were like, no, fuck off, no. Of course they didn't allow crossplay. Like, you just wouldn't, would you? Like, there's no... Okay, put it this way. What's the benefit to Sony? As cynical as that sounds, in that situation, before the gen that's happening now, what is the benefit to Sony?
Well,
of them allowing to play?
He was thinking of the children, but the children want to play Fortnite with other children.
Yeah, and eventually Sony came around to it because of pressure. Okay, but the thing was, there was no benefit to Sony ever in going cross-play. At this point, they have now, because it's become it's become this moral thing, right? Where, like, if they don't give a shit about gamers and all this kind of stuff. But from a business perspective, fair fucking play to them.
Yeah.
The PS4 was goddamn massive, and they had every right to say, we're keeping it in our own ecosystem because no one else exists. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was their right, and that's what they did. And
that's a different.
I can't say if I was in their position, I would have done differently. That they had every right to do that, really.
Thomas, do you agree with that? Like, you're the big boy.
I don't play on that level. I'm not interested in playing on that level. I don't give a shit. You know, really crossplay. Yeah, okay, yeah. I completely understand what Mike says. Why would they ever fucking want to do that? If I know anything, that if you put enough people in a big enough building, the only thing that matters is the fucking money. So whatever, don't believe anything. If there's 1,000 people working on a company, the only thing that's going to go down is the fucking money. So in the end, you can never expect those things. And if they happen, be glad it's there. And if some developers are willing to pay the price, power to them. I understand it's a fun feature. It's great. I'd love to play every iPhone game on my Android. But it's not how to.
I will say that it's nice that it's becoming a regular thing, right? Like, I can play. I literally play Apex now with my kid. He's on a Switch. I'm on an Xbox, and my partner's on a PlayStation. And that's amazing. The fact we could do that is genuinely like life-changing at this point, that we can do that.
You're an Apex player, yeah, Mike? You're an Apex player?
I used to be an Apex player. I was Apex player from like seasons like 1 to 5 or something, and then I realized I played too much Apex and I moved on to Valorant. But yeah.
We need to get some games going.
Valorant. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Valorant's sick as well. Shout out to the 200 plus people watching. Smash that like button, you guys enjoying. This is like kind of like lovely chat. It's entertaining.
I'm out of beer.
We'll get another one. What are you doing?
It's a weekday. What am I doing?
It's a Sunday. It's a weekend Saturday. You can definitely go down and get some beers. I'll stall and we'll.
I'll get another beer.
But
there's someone on the couch going.
I love it. Asa, look, when we talked about this, we talked about the rug being pulled under Sony. This is my money, But I got the impression that you're painting Sony as this like small, like little labradoodle. But Mike has painted it in the reality of it. Sony's come in with this big chest, big breast, puffed up chest. What I meant to say is puffed up chest, not big breasts. And he's like, no, I'm the big boy. You don't get to play, or I don't need to go and play with your crappy little sandbox. You come to mine. That's how it is. That's that as a consumer, I can't gel with that. And long term, people will be like, all right, piss off, we're going to go somewhere else and we're going to play this smaller box and we'll make our own with blackjack and hookers. And then it's going to be amazing. So there's a long-term strategy there as well. But do you echo the sentiments of Thomas and Mike here that, you know, if it's a business decision, Sony are well within their rights to do this and we shouldn't complain? Because that, to me, opens the floodgates for a lot of things.
Is that the question?
So,
I'm going to be really
sorry,
nice.
I always ask you really long questions with you.
You do, and I'm going to be really nice because you dropped a Futurama reference in there, so I'm just going to let you have whatever you just said. No, what I said about Sony in the first place was in the PS3 era, they didn't really understand the value of online. So in the PlayStation 3 era, they said, yeah, crossplay is fine, because we don't really understand what we're losing if we do that. In the PlayStation 4 era, they learned that there's a hell of a lot of money in online play and microtransactions. And they shut it right down in the way that you'd expect them to as the dominant leader in that market. I'm not sure how you think that I've disagreed with anything that anybody else has said, because that's exactly what I said last week. This time...
Gaz!
Thank you. This time, so the clause that they've got this time is quite specific. I actually did a short video on our little shorts channel that nobody watches about it as well. But the clause is quite specific that you got to hit a certain revenue level, and then you got to disclose your marketing data about whether people are spending on other platforms but playing on PlayStation. It's quite specific that they're like, if you're playing on our platform, we deserve a bit of the money. And they do. It makes sense. That's what the platform's all about. That's the whole console ecosystem. It's the model that they've built. So they're right to try and protect it. What I said in the video as well is that where it becomes a problem is if this policy is so complicated and they need to calculate where each player is playing, where they're spending, and how they need to divide that revenue. If it's so complicated that developers are being put off of putting this in the game when everyone loves it, everybody here loves it, everyone in the chat loves it, you all want to be able to play with your friends wherever they are. If the policy is so complicated that it's stopping that, then they need to look at it. But I don't think they're doing anything inherently evil by protecting their little bit of money there.
I don't think it's
their huge chunk of money, I should say.
Do you think it's
for
complicated,
the
Thomas?
parties that are making these games to make a little deal with Sony and pay it off, I think that is just a policy, and then everything is just whatever EA wants it to be. I don't think the money is actually a limit, because if they can just make a calculation, so well, we add crossplay, it adds this amount of sales, of which we give a little bit to Sony. It's just a calculation, and I'll make the calculation if it's profitable, and if not, it's out of there.
But for you,
that is
Thomas,
the only.
so as a one-man indie dev, if Sony say Falconeer was a multiplayer
I know
game,
nothing,
hypothetical, and you wanted to allow people to play across platforms, and you looked at it, and Microsoft said, "Do it," and Steam said, "We don't care," and Sony said, "You can do it, but you need to tell me where each player is spending their time, a percentage of it, relative to how they're spending that money, and then we need to work out your fee according to that." Do you think that's something that Sony would be like, "We've got the tools to do that for you"? Or do you think that's a buttload of admin work?
It's a very hypothetical, because the indies for which they're applicable, you need to talk to Mike, because he might, have a few of those. I don't think even but you know what the nice thing is about the last 5 or 10 whatever years indies have become a thing, is that even Sony understands and Microsoft understand the value of indies and the limitations of indies, and I don't think they would put such a question to you in such a manner. They might arguably say, well, we prefer you not to do crossplay, or if you do crossplay, we're going to dock you this and that. But I don't think you will be required to do the admin,
Calculations and stuff.
the admin calculations. And even that contractual obligation they had in the lawsuit sounds really impractical. I doubt that it ever gets done properly, and that they just make a gentleman's agreement on it. And it's basically to dissuade third parties, small parties to do it. So that the big guys, EA, wherever, who can do it, they'll have their own deals with PlayStation, Microsoft, whatever. They've got an entire office somewhere dealing with that shit. They don't care.
I'll take it on the chin on that one. I get it. I get the business side of it. I don't vehemently disagree with you either. So I'm looking squarely through consumer, and I just want to set a standard, especially in an industry where Microsoft, and I know they have a different model. They're not doing that, I'll just take sides with the one that's more pro-consumer. But I know it's not as simple as taking sides. I understand that. I caused a little bit of a shitstorm. I don't know if you guys are big Battlefield fans, but I'm a big Battlefield fan. I love what DICE does. But I got really disappointed that Battlefield 6 is a cross-gen game. Mike, like, when are we? Am I right? Am I okay to be disappointed? Because I'm so sick and tired of last gen and the crappy CPU.
I'm disappointed that I didn't even realize that Battlefield was up to number 6, mate. I feel like the last Battlefield I played was fucking 3 or something.
Yeah.
They're up to 6.
It's up to
How
6.
has there been 6 Battlefields, mate?
There's
What the
more
fuck?
What's more than 6?
There's always stuff to shoot up.
Yeah.
It's a yearly thing. Is this Battlefield 2021? Is that the thing?
But Battlefield, yeah, Jesus.
2021.
Why are you upset? Why are you upset? It's crossplay.
Because cross-gen, so it's
Cross-gen.
like yeah, it's cross-gen. So it's coming out on Xbox One and PS4. And I made a tweet about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, but not everyone has got a PS5," and that's a fair point. But Microsoft, DICE didn't build this game last year. Then we're aware, there's going to be a silicon shortage, and there's not going to be next-gen console. I want a decisive jump into next-gen. So I want, and Microsoft, DICE have been saying, "We'll give you the truly next-gen, the best Battlefield you can get." And this is a statement. The statement was so decisive almost that from that, me, including a lot of other people, thought, this is next gen only then. Based on what he just said, no limitations.
Let me quote Thomas here. It's about the fucking money, mate. like look, anybody who is making a truly next-gen game right now, which is only available on next-gen platforms,
It's not going to make a lot of money.
does not exist, or if it does exist, it's because someone paid them all of the money in the world to do it. There's not enough people with PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's and Series S's right now. There's just not. There's just not. If you're going to limit yourself, how many are? I actually don't even know how many there are. Are there 15 million next gen consoles out there right now? If you add them all together, maybe it's that.
High number.
It's something like that. Current gen. How many current gen consoles are there? Hundreds of millions?
Yeah.
Let me think for a second. Am I going to make a game for hundreds of millions of people? Or am I going to make a game for this pittance of people? This little pittance of people? No, of course I'm not going to. And I would be mental to do that. Like, especially as well, because you've got to understand, of course, I'm sure you understand this, that this game you're talking about, they started making it years ago, you know? They did not even know what the landscape would look like now. They had no idea. It could be that next-gen consoles weren't even out yet, you know? Like, it could have been that, like, Sony and Xbox shat the bed, and the Xbox and the next consoles aren't out yet. They had no idea what the landscape was like, so they had to just build for everything. And, you know, I get your point. It does, when we switch generations, arguably there's a little holdback, you know. We've put Descenders on everything, right? And Descenders, if I'm honest, does not run on current gen consoles in the way I would like it to, because it needs just that little bit more power. And now we're building the next gen versions, and oh my god, they look insane. You know, we're in the next few days we're announcing the date for the Series X version of Descenders, and it's soon, right? It's like June soon, and when that comes out, right?
We did.
Holy shit! It runs insane on Series X, right? And that's what I would have loved for Xbox One as well. But we were at the end of a console cycle. But there was no way we were only going to put it on next gen, because we would have made no money. Like it's just how it is.
It's the money. I guess
it's a silly cycle, this one, because we get a television generational cycle. Arguably, PS4 and stuff went to HD, but we went from 720. We didn't go from, you know, tube to flat screen. That we did with the, you know. So and that was a tiny leap, 720 to 1080. And now we're going to 4K 60 FPS. Well, all your gone. Because you go from 1080 to 4K. That's 4 times the resolution, so that's 4 times the fill rate. We do that 60, so that's 8 times the performance. And lo and fucking behold, that's amount that this is the extra play bit we've been given. Not really, because you still do a lot more on a Series X than just that. Quite a lot more. But it's a great excuse for people to say, well, we'll take our 1080 fucking high-end game and it'll be fucking high-end in 4K and fucking thank us for it. I think that's going to be on the minds of lots of developers to go, yeah, well, that's an easy fix. Toggle on.
That's
and
what I'm worried about.
You got it. You got to give it time, mate. That's the thing. Like you got to. The problem is the numbers don't make sense yet. That's the bottom line here. Not enough people own next gen consoles. Obviously, it's not helping that they're the supply is bad. Give it until after Christmas this year, and you will be getting to the point where there has been enough of a cycle that has happened.
Yeah.
What's happening right this second is that people are thinking about exclusive next-gen titles.
Yeah.
And it's going to be another 18 months for some smaller titles, and it's going to be another 24 to 36 months.
Yeah.
24 to 36 months?
100%. And I know that's not what you want to hear. I know that sounds horrible. Holy shit, years away from true next-gen titles.
Yeah.
That's just how video games work. I mean, especially the pandemic's not helping, of course, but that's just what it takes. Until the numbers are there, no one wants to take the leap. Some people will dip their toes,
And someone did take the leap, and they got shat out all over for it because it ran like shit on PlayStation.
What was that? What game was that?
What was that? The game we all hated for months and months earlier this year. The Cyberpunks. They made it a fucking next-gen title, and it ran like garbage on the current gen. And people fucking went mental over it.
Do you know what? That is the perfect example. You can say what you want about Cyberpunk, but the thing is, yes, it was buggy, and yes, they needed more time on it, and yes, they shouldn't have crunched their staff into oblivion. All of these things. What they were trying to do with that title was be next gen.
Yeah.
And they were penalized hard for it. They got absolutely slaughtered for doing that. If years ago they decided, fuck next gen, we're just going to be current gen, and we're just going to focus there, things may have gone more smoothly for them. But it's because they were trying to be next gen that it's arguably gone quite horribly for them. So that's the perfect example of why you do not focus on current on next slash. Are we calling it next gen or current gen now?
We're still
calling it next gen.
Previous gen and current gen. Come on.
What gen is it? Is it 8 gen? Is it 7 gen?
I think
what gen are we on?
It's 9 gen.
But even then, because it's only half a gen, because we had PlayStation Pro and fucking Xbox One X. It's half a gen.
This is genuinely the first gen that has felt like not the craziest step up. Not because, if anything, it's the biggest step up we've ever had, but because of the way it's been presented, it has felt like less of a next gen.
Yeah, so
but
true.
Arguably, the things that have happened this gen are crazy. The loading times.
Yeah.
Quick resume. I'm swapping this evening between I'm playing some Mass Effect. I'm swapping into a bit of Assassin's Creed. I'm swapping into a bit of Resident Evil. That's fucking great.
Yeah, that's wicked.
I can do that. It's amazing. That for me is next gen.
Quick resume is mad.
It's insane. But yeah, like it's this weird thing where this generation has arguably not felt that big of a leap, and it's because everything is so connected now. Previously, when a console came out, it was like, this game is only available on this console, and you have to buy this console. And now, like, you can probably buy that game on another platform. And if you can't right now, in 6 months, you'll be able to get it on PC.
Yeah.
And so many people see that as a negative, you know. So many people say, well, it's on PC, it's not exclusive.
Yeah.
Like
Someone
no,
say that in
no,
chat.
no, no. Here's the situation. That company just wanted to make more fucking money. That's what the situation is. Oh, like Sony games are starting to appear on Steam. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Horizon is appearing on PC? Could it be that the day it launched, it sold hundreds of thousands and made them shitloads more money? Do you really think Sony are like, and when they're putting Days Gone and all them, come on now.
Yeah.
Like it's the day of the exclusive is over. Exclusives don't fucking matter anymore. They just don't. They don't. Xbox, they've got Game Pass now. That's their thing. They don't give a shit if they're giving you exclusives or not.
Yeah.
They just want you to get on Game Pass. They don't give a fuck about exclusives. Sony still slightly give a shit about exclusives, and yet they're starting to put some titles on PC. And they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Give it a few more years. Exclusives are just not going to matter anymore. They're not. And all of this bullshit that people talk about is going to be exactly that bullshit. It really is.
That's quite a bold statement. And Thomas, Trevor in the chat says, guys, you need it's about the money graphic. Yes, I think I need to.
Yeah.
It's about the money. And you're right.
It's always about the money.
Always about the money, man. I've got 3 kids. Gotta eat. You always make it. It's all about the fucking money, man. Let's think.
It's about the money.
Jesus.
It's bittersweet. Pill to
It's
swallow, you're
so
right.
fucking bittersweet, man.
I know. Okay, all right. We are 5 minutes left at the end of the show, and this has been a great show. But I want to.
I haven't finished my beer yet. Oh fuck.
Down it. E3 is coming. Are you guys? You guys are.
What?
Look,
What's that?
What's E3?
I've never heard of it.
Well, it's a game show.
I don't even remember E1 and E2.
Do they have front quarters?
That's a dad joke. You know what E3 is, and you know what E3
Barely.
is. Both of you. Don't say
He's like,
barely.
you do know what E3 is, right?
Yeah, please tell me you know what E3 is. It's like the Christmas for us gamers. It's it's really my framing of this question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you genuinely don't know, Thomas.
No, of course I know what fucking E3 is.
I was gonna say, man.
just don't give a shit.
It's where Reggie walks onto a stage and announces a bunch of games, right? That's what E3 is, I think.
It's I've blocked it since the last. I was going to be on an E3 platform fucking show, and it was just this. It was this, and then I went downstairs 2 weeks later on the couch and watched it.
Man, that sucks.
E3, aka disappointment over and over again. Is that the one we're talking about?
Apparently.
That's the one I'm talking about. Hopefully it's not disappointing. Well, I'm excited for it. Thanks for ruining my excitement for it. I was going to ask
What's gonna happen
you.
at 3-3? Are we having a show? I gotta Google this right now. What's coming out?
Have you ever been to E3, guys?
We were supposed to go to E3, then the pandemic hit. We've been to Gamescom. Yeah, definitely.
I've actually, of all the events, I've been to every event 1 million times, but I've only ever been to E3 once, mainly because E3, you know, it's AAA city, you know, it's not super useful for smaller developers and publishers. It can be, don't get me wrong, but it's AAA city, and so I did go 1 year just to see what it was like, and I saw many things. I saw many interesting things happen. But overall, it's definitely a AAA circle jerk, and like that's what E3 is. Yeah, 100%. You'll enjoy it. It's good.
I know. I'm pretty sure I will. Vegas is not that far off away from it, so I definitely I'd love E3. Yeah. But E3 is hype. Okay, we were hyped. Me, Colt Eastwood in the chat. Shout out! Oh, the super chat just came in. Sorry, Dars. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Great show, guys. Shout out to Asa, my Kevin Costner. God. That's Dars for you, Asa. Dan, thank you so much for $2 super chat. Best guests on any podcast ever. I'm dying. I'm inclined to agree with you. This has been amazing. It's just a beer.
Get me another drink.
But E3 for us is a big thing. Like, we're getting really excited. Do you guys get excited about it? Or, like, from a dev perspective, you're like, ugh. I don't know. Do you look at it a different way than we do? Because for us, it's the Christmas. It's like,
When is
year,
E3? Let me Google it.
it's on June the 12th. I think
Yeah.
June the 12th.
It's difficult, right? When you do a thing as your job, when you do a thing as your job, it becomes less exciting in general. Like like there's no other way to say it. You know, when you spend 9 to 5 every single day doing a thing, they're going like, no, I'm going to spend the evening watching E3. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But I can remember the days when I got excited about these things, and so I get it. I get like how exciting it is. I get like the idea of, oh shit, they're gonna hit me, trailer. From my perspective now, like when I watch E3, I know now how important things are as they're happening. Do you know, like I have the background of, you know, like last year, like Xbox like landing with the Fable trailer at the end and stuff like that. Like there's shit where stuff lands and I go, oh shit, look what they just fucking did. Like
those moments,
yes, like arguably there's the moments now that I can appreciate more because I know, like, I can imagine all the people behind the scenes, and I'm messaging people at, like, you know, at Xbox going like, oh shit, can't believe you just did that. Like, you know, like there's shit like that where it's
that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, there's definitely the level. I mean, 80% of it's bullshit though. Like, like a lot of it is like, you know, it's like, oh great, there's another FIFA. Oh great, there's another NFL. Oh great, like there's, you know, it's that shooter again. Now they're gonna bring someone on stage who is well awkward and doesn't know how to talk, and they're gonna stand like this, and there's gonna be 2 rows of people at the front who have been paid to clap so that it sounds like it's louder. Like, I know, unfortunately, I know how the meat is made. So I'm like, oh, like a lot of it. You know, there's bits I understand, and there's bits I appreciate.
Oh man, do you think E3 is dying though? Because a lot of people are saying it's waning.
No, it's not dying, because people fucking love that shit, don't they? Like, especially in the age of Twitch and all this stuff. If anything, it's going the opposite direction. There's people. The chat's gonna fill with bajillions of emotes as Bethesda are announcing the next bullshit. It's not gonna die. It's just moving into a new phase. That's all. You know, it's moving into the online phase where who gives a shit if you're there or not. I know.
I am so tired of the online bullshit, people. I want to go somewhere.
I want to go
somewhere. I want to have a dance and a beer and get adrenaline. And
well, you're not fucking doing that at E3, are you? Do you know what I mean?
I never do fucking E3, you know?
I'm gonna have a dance in the lobby of the fucking Hilton or something.
No, that's why E3 is boring.
with Jeff Keighley. Jeff, come over here. Get a drink with me.
No.
Yeah, but there's better shows for that.
Yeah, they're definitely.
I miss those shows, you know.
Yeah.
I was at the last PAX. You will remember, because it might never come back. But I was at the last PAX. There was no party there, but very, very modest party. I went to a party and people were having esports. I was going, yeah, let's go. Where's the drugs? Where's the booze? Where's the dancing? Yeah. They're on stage playing esports. There's gaming chairs on stage. What the fuck is? Where's the DJ? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Gamescom had an after party, and it went down.
Gamescom.
Gamescom's good. Go get good.
Gamescom, Gamescom's only good because in Germany you do what the fuck
lots
you
of courage.
Yeah. The number of times I've been sat on the steps of the cathedral at Gamescom at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like, guess I'm in at 8 tomorrow. Like this is that's what Gamescom is.
Gamescom is good. I like it, but it's also cancelled. So yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. So
sad.
But for E3, we will have a party. I'll tell you now. GameOnDaily goes. It's going to be a lit party. If you're invited, it's going to be sauce. That's going to be sauce.
I have a fucking invite. Jesus Christ.
Mate,
what's the party?
Of course you will.
What party are you talking about? Is there a party? A virtual party?
So we've been talking about E3 with a lot of other people, like to book a place, do it together with other content creators, just have our own party. That's all we would thinking about E3 party. Gamescom, we're talking to some people, have a mad party. Cancel though. It sucks.
Cancel.
Next year is going to be big. I think E3 will come back and Gamescom will be back because everyone's dying to get back to physical events. And when it happens,
Yeah, people are dying to get. I was ready to go. I said, people, I get jab. We're going to fucking Gamescom. I'm gonna die doing it. Fuck it. You know?
yeah,
I'm gonna go to Gamescom. Want to meet
I'm the
people.
same. I want to meet. So I'm dying.
I am so done sitting inside. It's depressing.
It is. So me and Colt Eastwood, a shout out to Colt in the chat. Like we are desperate to go out. Next year is going to be big. And you're right. You may not care about E3, but you like the spectacle of it, just like we do, Mike. And I can't wait for that, and can't wait to have you guys there. That's the whole point, because we're used to meeting devs in person, and then instead of sending a Twitter invite, you got that from me. You saw my picture, like this guy looks like a bit of a prick. Why should I go on this show? Like it's a bit weird. It's different, isn't it? I don't blame you. It's like you can't read through Twitter profiles, but if you get to meet people, it's different. It's different. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. This has been, and everyone in chat, and people on my Twitter is blowing up. People are saying it's the best show ever. Thank you, thank you. And that's it. Drugs, don't do drugs, kids.
It's been fun.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy the show. Thank you so much for coming down. Let me give you a chance to do the outros, gentlemen. Mike, everyone knows where they can find you, but is there anything you want to tell your fans in the chat?
Oh, I won't tell you my Twitter because you shouldn't follow me. It's terrible and it'll make you upset. Just if you've enjoyed a single word that I've said, I'd love you to buy a No More Robots title. It supports our developers. We have several titles that are available currently. We've got plenty of titles that are on the way. But at the end of the day, just do that and just be happy. That's the best way to do. And stop fanboying. Just listen. There's one thing you can take away from this. Stop fanboying. Who gives a fuck which console is better? Who gives a shit? They're all the same. They're just a bunch of fucking wires in a box, mate. Why are you pledging allegiance to a box with wires in it, you twat?
Because you're 16 and you need to build your identity, Mike.
Oh, one of them's blue, one of them's green. Well, who gives a shit? Stop it. Stop it. You're not a child. Stop it. Jesus Christ. They've all got video games on them, haven't they? Fucking hell.
What an outro.
That is the best outro ever. But I won't stop.
So far, Thomas is next.
Excellent. You should do that.
Thomas, yep. Lead us with that.
No, I can't top that. I can't no more beer. I can't
just shout it again, Thomas. Just
don't
shout it.
buy my fucking game. Please don't.
Buy the Falconeer also, you idiots.
No,
Great game about being a falcon.
I will never make a fucking tutorial ever. Go fucking figure it out for your
make a
fucking
tutorial
self.
for his game. All right?
What?
Fucking idiots.
In the next life, I want to do something non-digital, please. I will make furniture or something. That'd be nice.
He's going to be a bird. In his next life, he's going to be a bird. All right?
A really
He can
fast
fly
bird.
away from your bullshit.
Well, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great time. I'm sure you did. We bring you the sauce, ladies and gentlemen, although this time the guest is completely.
Cha-ching.
Yes, the sauce is real. Thank you so much for joining us, gents. Everyone in chat, if you did enjoy it, please like it, share it out. I think people need to hear just how good the show was.
The best sauce.
Why do you have a bottle of tomato section? Why do you
Why
have a bottle
don't you have one, Thomas? That's a better question.
I don't have anybody that makes me grilled cheese sandwiches, for fuck's sake.
Oh no.
I have 3 kids. I have to make my ketchup by myself. Right?
You make
I'm
your
a poor
ketchup?
dad. I have to go outside, cut the fucking tomatoes.
It's empty, Tony, because it's all been
You
used.
squirt it
up during
all
the
out
show.
with that cheese.
All
I
of
know
this
how to
show,
do it.
all of this show,
all
it's
over
squirted
it.
everywhere.
Grilled cheese sandwich with fucking ketchup. It's all sugary now.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next Saturday. And speaking of sauce, An extra special episode of The Source will be greeting you on Monday. You don't want to miss this, trust me. Thank you so much. See you next week. I'll let your boys down here. Peace.
Oh, I'm
Thank you
crying.
so much.